Hopefully, going to report a little bit more of the Maamar on Yud Beis Gimel Tammuz from 1975. I believe we're holding Os Zion. As always, learning to bind our souls to God. Pledge you got to hasten redemption. What do you call an alligator and a vest? He's an investigator. So, I ate a little too much bread, feeling a little funky. Going to feel myself quite a bit today. Have to try to ignore that or rise above that. Keep moving. Feel a little slow. Got to find a way to stay fast or plan ahead to beat the slowness. And hopefully God will bless us. It'll be a good day. Stay tough and competitive. Zion, value days there, nice Indian, the Nozlim in Lebanon, and now we can talk about this idea of flowing from Lebanon. Lebanon is break Lebanon into 32 and 50. When you leave Nesivas Hachma, 32 is the 32 paths of wisdom, Venun Sharibina, and the 50 gates of understanding. Yishahem Biyachad, the way they're united when you have wisdom and understanding combined. Meaning, Chachma is the first of the spheres, kind of where nothingness meets non-nothingness, and there's an idea that we exist and don't exist at the same time. It's ideas of existence coming into being, and it's permeated with the fear and awe of the Creator. And if that fear and awe should permeate our understanding, then they are united. And the flow is the same language as Mazel, which is even higher than the brains. And how much higher than the emotions? So the level of Mazel, up to the highest level of Mazel, there's nothing higher. And we can reach these levels through serving God here. Not this garden well. The souls the way they are upstairs. It doesn't have this power. Like the Tanya says, of our the alos, the supernal worlds don't have the ability to refine and go up. Megolas is Susa Gadusha, to reveal or to redeem the sparks of holiness. Like Teutonim Vad, it's only in the lower worlds where these refinements and liberations happen that things can be sent up. There's no real, well, I guess you could say the upper worlds are in prison a little bit, they can't go higher, but here we can, I'm not going to say a person, but something could go from complete imprisonment or a complete dark space to complete light space, complete transformation. That can't happen in the upper worlds. It's kind of stagnant. A person going to have that experience of complete liberation if there wasn't the possibility of, God forbid, engagement. So the darkness is always for the sake of our relation, to help us realize some greater power that we had, or help us be more empathetic or sympathetic, or to bring out different attributes that we would have otherwise not found and be a greater service to our Creator. It's all just for the sake of revelation, help us serve God. Shem Levushim Beguf Churmi, Shekad Hivi Klivas Noga, what's the original concealment that exists every day? A person wakes up in a body and it's serpent skin snake. And we can break him by going against our lust for physical things and doing inappropriate things. Like, I don't have to have those 2 wheat rolls yesterday, just wheat rolls. Don't generally eat bread. Bread definitely gives a person a lot of yeshus, makes him feel himself. I'm feeling it today. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Once a person gives in a little, he just wants more and more and more, and it doesn't back down. And the idea is that we should get the neshama openly and revealed and out doing its thing, so it shouldn't be concealed by the serpent skin, by the body. So too in the world, we should see the world as a godly place, not a jungle, God forbid. That's why the angels in the upper worlds come to hear our novelties in Torah down here. It's very important to publish your novelties in Torah. And if you're not sure about it, you just say, oh, I'm not sure, or it could be, or possibly, or something like that. And how we, things that were previously unknown, that through debate amongst Torah scholars, the unknown space becomes a defined space, a known space. That also drawn down affects the world. And we do mitzvahs, and our mitzvahs affect Gan Eden. Like the verse says, souls upstairs want to hear our novelties in Torah particularly. It all started out with the garden well, but then it ended up coming down here and making the well, living waters in the well. So it still started up there, but it was sort of limited in its level, so to speak. It came down here where it was caged in, but through hard work can reach a liberation that can't be reached upstairs, and the people upstairs love hearing about that. And also, if a person's worried about his Torah study, that it should, if he says something wrong or who is he to add into the Torah, then he could just say, it's possible to say. Alright, Os Ches, V'zeu, Az Yashi Yishol, Shir, Zos, Ber. This is why we sang the song. Shemir Sashir, He, Al, Zesh, Apollo, and Shamas, Kvish, Sasukar, Dargis, Bear. It's this idea that affects this level, the Shamas, when they're already on the level of well. Lakar, and Stinas, Kok, Mukhinas, Wayanganim. Once we already got the power from the garden well, She, Eslain, and Dalai Bear, which helps us go up. Al Yidei Shlamas, Myseno, V'Seno, Hain. Shel Hasayim, V'Hain, Shel Divyam, Shapola, In, Dechar, V'Krua, Legalis, Bear. First, we have to reveal that we have the well. I guess normally a person wakes up and probably thinks he's just a circumcision unless he has learned a bunch of Torah. I guess, alright, that's tricky. So, Torah is going to help you understand that you're not just a serpent skin, that you have this divine soul. And once you know you have it, you have to get in touch with it. It takes some refinement and some faith of just doing Torah mitzvahs so you can feel a little spiritual. Hopefully, everyone's had a spiritual moment here and there throughout life, just where they felt a little bit spiritual. I don't know, seeing a beautiful sunset or something else. And even this person has to be careful with, because if they had a spiritual moment throughout life, seeing some type of sunset or something where they realize they weren't just a physical being, and the tricky part is that should translate into good deeds as opposed to self-service or wanting to go bliss out on a mountain or whatever it is, some type of self-indulgence. But it's nice to have at least had the experience where a person can now know they're spiritual as well as physical. And hopefully we continue to emphasize the spiritual. Not that everyone has a body, but are you processing body or are you processing spiritual? Where are you living? Where's your heart? Where's your mind? So a person's living more in the spiritual, it gets easier to do good deeds, help your fellow man. They're not such a competition. They're there they actually help you. You know, when you want to live in a spiritual world, everything is complementing. When you live in a physical world, you got to get him before he gets the last piece of cake. God forbid. I mean, there should be a fight. Also, God forbid he should get the last piece of cake. Still, I'm just saying. I mean, God forbid there should be any kind. There should be plenty of cake for everybody, although I don't eat cake, but that's something else. So a person needs to have the experience that they are spiritual, and once they do, then they can start to do some real digging and overcoming the physical and applying the spiritual to the physical to the point where they're elevating the physical and making the spiritual the way it exists. Without this opportunity, very jealous. But however, since the salvation that's done through general service down here is still a bit concealed, the Indian Shira comes to a song, Shamir Siyal Nation Begili. Down here, why we sing? Because this person experienced a revealed miracle, like the well. Like a new song. Feminine language. Actually, you'll be revealed in the future redemption. A male song, Lotion Zakar, but it's through this feminine song, through doing our work here and revealing the spiritual more and more, we can get to the masculine song, the ultimate redemption. Habracha Omrim Shir Chadash, Sumi Omrim Shir Chadash, given Shapulas Ayin, who Holiday, my son, which then was one of the Dafka. It's our service here that makes it happen. Helmiyashnik Var Hagula, since this Kedusha Pratim, there's many individual redemptions that happen. Many sparks have already been liberated. A Jew made a bracha on a piece of cake. I don't know, I'm stuck on cake, maybe it rolls ahead. And elevated the divine spark in the cake, because the cake also has a divine inspiration, so to speak. God's speaking the cake into being too. What are you focusing on to eat the cake? The divine spark inside or the yummy, yummy frosting part? That might hurt your stomach for weeks. Anyway, but if he's focused on the divine spark and he makes the bracha before and after and he elevates the spark, that's also a liberation for a particular spark. Every prayer, a person's soul is redeemed. Me and my Shem says it's as if a person redeemed he and his children from amongst the nations of the world. And this is and also the particular sparks in the divine, particularly if you talk about the minion. Tesla Kateva Shabanim Sadaver, but it's similar to someone who has the key. So we have the key to let ourselves out of the cage. It's a question if we want to use it to get out.